Save Room, episode 2, baby. Save Room cast, episode
You already fucked up the intro. We're only 2 in. Channel's over.
2. Turn it off.
See ya. Thanks for coming around.
It just says, like, canceled, been exposed.
Yeah, we have exposed in the title now. Like, truth.
Yeah, we'll put a red circle over, like, the sky where there's nothing in there. Then we watch the video and there's fucking nothing up there. So I guess speaking of, like, red circles, what do you think? Did you hear that? I mean, it probably won't be relevant in a little while, but did you hear that they're cutting out all the recommended videos for conspiracy videos?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're, like, going on record as saying that it's, like, a waste of, like, time and stuff, and that, like, they don't want to bog people's, like, search history down with that, and so, like, in the recommended videos, they're not going to have conspiracy videos at all.
Stupid.
It's kind of dumb. I like watching those.
I know, like,
they make me super paranoid, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird to, like, see how other people perceive things. Like, how their mind can process, like, a crazy thought to us, but, like...
But to them, it's like it's a straight line, like, this
flat
is...
Earth. This.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, that's really an interesting point, is that, like, granted, I might think something is completely ridiculous, and I do think flat Earth is ridiculous, but it's interesting to see how someone gets there. Yeah, it's like...
And then it's like, oh shit, the Earth is flat.
Yeah, it's like when you talk with enough confidence, and you, like, sound like you're, like, straight-headed enough, it really does make it sound, like, convincing. You're like, damn, this guy, like, hasn't tripped over his words at all. He's just, like, really concise with his thoughts, like, look, there's this evidence, and there's point A and point B, and, like, thusly there is, like, you know, no trees on the planet. And you're like, what? They're all rocks instead?
Yeah, it's like believable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like believable. I guess that's kind of what their point is.
Then you got some stupid shit like this one, still interesting because I love conspiracies, but about how there's no, like, core in the Earth, and inside
the hollow Earth
like,
theory.
Well, no, it's like not even that.
Not even that.
It's like this. There's, like, another world inside the core of the Earth, like, filled with, like, enhanced humans that are, like, tall and white and, like, know everything.
Yeah, I think it's called the hollow Earth theory, where it's like they think that at least a portion of the Earth is, like, hollow on the inside, and there's like a civilization that we don't know about down there. Yeah, I think that's what it's called, hollow Earth theory. There's also the hollow moon theory that has a little more evidence behind it, but the hollow planet isn't really viable to me. It just seems, come on, like,
because it happened with
I don't think
a guy flying in an airplane, and the plane crashed, and he woke up getting cared for by these giant entities that were, like, humans.
Yeah, and I sympathize with a little bit. Maybe there's something we don't know, and somehow they're right. I don't want to shit on it. I think it's...
Yeah, I think everything on any conspiracy.
Right, I think everything has some validity to it. There's got to be, like, a little bit of truth. I think that's kind of it, though. It's like, I think there's a phrase, like, where it's like a whole lot of lies and a little bit of truth. It's kind of like that. It's like, you know, there's probably a little bit of truth embedded in everything. There's got to be certain things underneath the ground. There's got to be, like, certain governmentals, like, societies underneath the ground.
Oh, for
to
sure.
Whatever
like
degree.
Some fucking umbrella corps down, like,
yes, yeah,
elevator
What's
down.
that called? What's that place called? The Hive. There's probably something like that down there.
A bunch of, like, reptilians are in cryostasis right
now. Easily could be things like that. I'm sure, like, you know, even if it's just, like, genetic altering or whatever. Of course, there's probably something that, like, and down there makes it sound like it's infinitely down there in one direction. I mean, you know, somewhere underneath.
In the hollow Earth.
But there's definitely, like, got to be certain things. You know, there's definitely... I don't think there could be, like... According to that hollow Earth thing, it's like a... like an atmosphere. So their argument is that there's, like, an atmosphere down there that's, like, really moist, and that there's, like, rainforesty type shit underneath, and somehow there's, like, another sun and stuff, which doesn't make any sense. It's like not any sense scientifically into what
like
I
another
understand.
sun in the Earth.
And I was like, there's no fucking way.
It could be the heat from the core to another sun.
That would make more sense, but then it would still be fairly cool.
Yeah. It's just interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, and if anything, it's just a multiverse theory. It's just like, as you zoom out, there's another universe. It's like, sure, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that make a little more sense? Because there's no roof over the multiverse theory. It's just like, it just gets bigger and bigger, then we're inside something else. I mean, we could be inside like a water droplet existing in such a blink of an eye inside of like, somebody's attic.
Yeah. We never know.
Yeah, and I don't want to discredit all that stuff. The flat Earth thing, I'll outright say no fucking way. No fucking way. At least for me, dude. I've like flown like all over the country, all over the world.
See the curvature of like the Earth
when you're that high and you're flying over to Europe. Yeah, and well, like the shortcut is that, and I think somehow their argument is that when you get to the end, it just starts over, which kind of is like what. Yeah, like the quick way to Japan is to go from California there.
Yeah, the back. Yeah.
Yeah, the back way. Yeah, instead of going, you don't always have to go right. It takes forever to go that way. You just don't go that way. You go California, then you go to Japan. You know, at least from where we are. Yeah, but I've been from here to Florida to New York all the way to London. But you can do it. Can be done.
Yeah, that's probably like one of the ones that I'm super against.
Yeah, it just makes me like face palm when I hear it. I'm like, come on, man.
I seen it last night on the square actually. The 200 proofs car that drives around Denton. It's like the little smart car that has like
I think I know
carpet all over it, and like there's like balloons on it that's like Google 200 proofs, the Earth's flat. And then the other day on the way home from work, I seen one that was like the Earth is round, and they had that written all over their car driving around.
God. Like contradict that one. Yeah.
But it's just funny because I seen that one all the time driving around. Like the Earth is flat. Like, it's just like embarrassing.
A little. It makes us feel like I feel like we've taken like a step back, which is okay that we're questioning stuff. It's totally okay that we have like the internet to look into things. But the problem with the internet is that like everything is there. It's the internet. Yeah, there's like everything.
Too much. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's like you have your voice to, but as soon as you have like a certain like group of people following that one voice, it starts becoming a problem. Yeah. It's like I could joke around and say like the Earth's flat. Haha.
But then when everybody's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like.
And now you got a fucking society around you that's like, flat.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay.
Yeah, it does make it feel like it took a step back.
Mm-hmm.
It bothers me because it's like, well, when you look at a lot of text, like if you go back like pretty far, let's say we go back 2,000 years, there were certain like scholars and scribes who knew the Earth was not flat.
Yeah.
Like, way before the whole Columbus thing and all that.
I seen like a thing on Tumblr recently about this guy. It was like in Alexandria or something, like 2 of the giant statues that are there.
Oh,
like,
in Egypt? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like they casted like a shadow a certain way from like the sun, and it proved like the Earth was round like way back then.
Mm-hmm.
I read that just recently. It's my favorite, so I'll have to find it. But yeah, it was interesting to read because I was like, oh wow, even back then they had like the same fucking like.
Yeah, they had that. There's a
flat Earther is back in the.
Even if you want to like go down to like religious, in the Bible it does say it too. It says like it has to do with Noah, and it's just like, and he saw the earth, and it's because it's talking about the ark, and somehow at one point or another, Noah says he sees the earth and it's round, it's glorious, like blue and round glory, and it's like, oh, so he knew it was round back then too. Even he knew it. I mean, if we're giving any validity to that, in the book of Enoch they talk about a round planet as well, and that predates it. There's quite a bit of evidence showing otherwise, and it's very odd that it's like arisen out of nowhere within the past 10 years, where it's like, but what if? Well, it's like,
there's always
come on, bro. Have you like left the United States?
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that can be like,
fairly easily debunked if you just look. Like
Easily debunked.
Not just look, because that's what they're doing is just looking for the most part. It's like when you take actual, like they want to see it for themselves, and I get that. I get like you want to like fly into space and you want to fly in a rocket and fly out into who knows where and see it for yourself.
Have we even been to space?
I don't know.
It's all fake.
I don't know. It's just a big painted ceiling.
Yeah.
It's like one of those video game renders where it's just like. Have you
Skybus.
Yeah, have you seen The Truman Show?
Sounds familiar.
The whole movie is like Jim Carrey and he's like inside this dome and it's like taking place like and everyone's watching him. He's like main character and like.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me about it.
Fucking good movie. Fantastic. I don't have it on Blu-ray for some reason, but I should.
Big fan.
I guess it's still on Netflix. So I just watch it occasionally.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. But like, the sky is like, fake. Everything is fake. Like everywhere else is like ahead of time, but his whole reality is taking place in like the 60s or whatever. Because it's like they're trying to set him back so he doesn't so they don't progress and like. He starts noticing the patterns and stuff. So I get, we're trying to look for certain patterns, and sometimes we're looking for things that aren't there. I get that.
Yeah.
And I sympathize with it. I sympathize with like any of the conspiracy stuff.
It's just interesting to read about and wrap your head around.
Yeah, like you said, like seeing the people's like
perspective,
the web of like connections they have. Yeah, it's like, well, they think of it this way when I might think of it like a totally different way. You start at a point C instead of point B, you might, take it a totally different route. I feel that.
Yeah, it's cool to read up on. Not necessarily like believe, but just like see.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what's going on is that we're seeing like everyone else's thought processes and how we're breaking it down. Because I guess that's kind of what other civilizations were doing. When you look at like the Mayans or you look at like ancient Incas or very similar things. Native Americans or the Greeks. The Greek. And you see how they were breaking stuff down. It's like, this is how they justify like their reality. And this is just another one of those things. It's like someone else is justifying their reality or trying to understand their reality. Really, that's probably what we're all doing. It's like when we justify like heaven and hell and fucking karma and, we're just... we're picking apart our reality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see, like... That's why, I don't feel like anyone's wasting too much of my time unless you just keep saying the same shit over and over. When, I have a customer come in and they're like, oh, I broke my back, and, I had 6 discs replaced, and I can barely walk, and now I use a cart everywhere I go, and it's sad, but you get to see the reality, It's a little bit like that, where it's like, okay, this is how so-and-so believes and how they, pick apart their own reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting. As a whole.
Kind of good that we don't, all believe the same things. We can talk each other out of shit.
Yeah,
devil's advocate.
Yeah. It's a good thing. Yeah. For the most part. At least. For the most part.
Yeah, as long as you're not hurting anybody. You heard it here, folks. Don't hurt anybody. This is the first place you hear it. If you haven't heard it anywhere before, don't hurt anybody. Unless they ask to be hurt. Yeah, so I guess on a separate topic, we were talking about music earlier.
Yeah, I don't know how we got on conspiracies, but...
It's okay. It's totally fine. Actually, don't know. Yeah, talked about conspiracies for 15 minutes. It's okay.
I love a good conspiracy.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a full-blown research, and then we'll talk about a conspiracy or something later.
I can talk about my favorite one.
What's your favorite one?
I can't talk about it right now.
Okay.
No.
So serious.
Caesar, it's about with Shakespeare not being who he is. He was just a face for Sir Francis Bacon to come to bring English to the Americas because he was sent by Athena. Yeah.
Francis Bacon, the painter?
No, he was a...
Or Sir Francis Bacon. Is it a different guy?
Yeah, Sir Francis Bacon.
Oh, okay. I was like, Francis Bacon's a fucking good painter.
No, this guy was a knight and stuff like that. royalty.
What the?
But like he had a dream.
You think Shakespeare existed?
He did, but he didn't write anything that he did. He was just.
He's like Elvis.
A person that was a face because he was like homeless, and then he was like a homeless actor, and he didn't even know English really well, and it was just like Athena coming to Sir Francis Bacon like at night and saying you need to bring like English to the Americas. This is your destiny, and so that's when he like wrote all the poems and shit.
What the? I've never heard of that.
I think you
just want to research it and you want to come back and we can like knock it out.
Yeah, I mean it can be a long one.
You really know like that much about it?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. There's a little bit about like, I did a project back in college about Hollow Earth or Hollow Moon. Since we were kind of talking about Hollow Earth,
mm-hmm.
I did a project about the Hollow Moon. It's pretty short. It's just that like, there's an interesting series of events where they like send like a signal to the satellite, the moon, and it like bounces back, and it sounds like a bell. It's just like,
oh yeah,
you're like, what the fuck? And like it shouldn't make that sound at all if it's like full, which is partly what makes it a satellite. Is that it's hollow.
There's also ones that it's like a spaceship and stuff like that.
Did they think it's a spaceship?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
I know, but yeah.
It's like a super weird spaceship, but that would be like
disguise.
It's just like the Death Star, or it looks like it'd be funnier if it looked like the one from Sonic Adventure Battle 2, where it's like Robotnik's like big fucking face, and it's just like it's just
like you never see like the backside of it.
Yeah, and it's just like, it turns around and it's Robotnik's fucking face.
Mustache and everything.
Yeah, with a pointy nose. Oh wait. He did in the game not in that game, but like his contraption like opened up.
Oh.
And it like was a
I thought he had like a big old like round.
I think he has a big round nose. Well, like in the.
I don't know.
Throw up on screen. Oh, that's what he looks like. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, how convenient.
Oh, so convenient.
Okay. We were talking about music earlier, and just that. How, what were we saying? We were saying, like...
Marina Diamonds fucking sucks now. No, I'm kidding.
I still love Marina, man. But I think our point...
As I sit here
with a Marina shirt on, yeah. I'm wearing a Panic shirt. But something unfortunately, about pop music, and not all pop music is like this, clearly.
Don't come for Allie like that. Jesus.
You can't talk for Allie like Allie X, the goddess. But it's a lot of pop music has come down to like very predictable lyrics, and unfortunately repetition like Charlie XCS and like or XCX and Marina kind of have fallen into these, at least from what we've seen of the album. We might
Fear might be good as
retcon everything we're saying when it comes out for real in about 20 days. I think actually 20 days. Yeah, it comes out the 26th.
Just crazy to think.
After so long. And that's kind of the sad thing is it's been like 4 years of no music, and then it comes out.
And it's simple as fuck.
It is very simple.
I mean, it's good. It's like motivational and like inspirational. And like, yeah, live your life or love everybody and stuff like that.
Which you'd think we've already heard before. Maybe she just wants to say it because she probably has a platform for it.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to music where I've definitely already heard that. It's not as if I haven't already read that in a philosophy somewhere.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, it's not original whatsoever.
But for her, maybe it's just like a platform on which to springboard off of. But
instead of like writing depressing music and shit like that, she wants to like.
It could still be depressing and be
profound.
The lyrics could be like really powerful, but unfortunately, as a lot of pop music has been, it's been very not profound. It's been very bland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like Marina's like on that shit where it's like
falling for that trap.
Seems like it. She has multiple writers, which I didn't notice before, but maybe there were before, but I don't think there were.
No, well, for
in the first First two albums she had help.
Yeah, that's where she was like pretty much controlled.
That's what she said.
And then Fruit, she was 100% by herself.
Yeah, and Fruit had Savages, and Fruit. It's the song Fruit was really powerful too.
It's a good album, like especially. Like, back in the day, I was like, oh, this is kind of weak, because I was, like, so into her pop shit.
Yes.
But, like...
When I was introduced to Marina, I had all of it at once.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 albums.
Yeah, but, like, looking back on it now, it's, like, I'm older, and it, like, fits me more now. Like, the whole... Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be, like, this is probably her worst album, but I can honestly put it up in my top favorites, just because now that I'm older, I can, like, look at the songs differently and, like, see where she comes from, and, like, it's...
And maybe we'll need that. And like she said that she wanted us to digest the music. And I just don't feel like listening to it. It just feels kind of boring. And granted, like, I'm going to be at the concert coming up and later this year, but I don't really feel too hyped about it. Like, I'm wishing other artists would come by. Like Allie. I really want Allie to come up.
No, I want Allie. I would go to Allie in a heartbeat.
Oh, hell yeah, bitch.
Allie at, like, Dog. Oh,
it's, like, the perfect venue for it. Yeah, it's really...
But I think she's more popular than that, so... Which I would hope so. I can see her being, like, at... I don't know. House might be too big.
I think Dada is, like, the perfect place. Mm-hmm. I think it's a good venue for her. It's not that she's big. Sure, I've seen her play some big venues, but I think Dada is perfect because it's, like, within arm's reach, you know, it's like so like intimate. Yeah, perfect word. It's like intimate for like artists.
It's artists so in the good. Fucking floor playing music with us before. I mean, like, at Alice's intro, and it was for Alice.
Yeah, the
second band that played.
Teen Slut.
Yeah, Teen Slut.
Yeah, weird name.
They were
but...
in the crowd with us, like playing their fucking drums and their Nintendo 3DSs.
Oh yeah, he had like a Nintendo 3DS, probably like the XL, and he like hacked it so like the bottom screen was like a MIDI, and he could like select what he wanted, and
it was so good.
Hard. They were so good.
And then they got like a fucking drag queen on stage that looked terrifying.
Oh yeah, and she was like dancing and shit. She was super cool. That was super cool.
A good experience. Band before that? No, fuck that. That band before.
Before. I won't name their name, but they were fucking awful. You can look into it. It was bad. They were bad.
Legit, probably like one of the worst I've seen. It was super like experimental and trash.
Yeah, it was like they were tremolo picking the entire time and just
that echo on their voice.
Coming in the mic with echo on their voices. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Allie would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but with music, I think there just needs to be a little more substance. There's so much heart in music that maybe this is just a preference, but it's just like music is so poetic. In so many ways, because it's coming like from the heart, hopefully, and usually I feel like when it comes from the heart, like it is poetic, and it doesn't like come off really generic sounding, you know. And unfortunately, and I think Marina is coming from like a place of like good heart. It just sounds very generic. Yeah. There's not a lot going on. There's a lot of just like very basic, like
even her voice,
vibes.
Like
she hasn't been like going all out
like
either.
I think it was Into the Earth, like 1:40 in, she does like this like low and higher and then high again, and like even higher, and I'm like, that honestly didn't even sound that good for her. Like if Allie did it, she'd be holding that note for like so much longer, be going up so much higher. But like it was just like a one part that I was like, damn, I wish that was like 2 seconds longer of her holding that note. Like it would have sounded so much better because it's just so abrupt because it's like low, high, semi-high. Like it's just I don't know, disappointing.
A little.
It's still good, but it's not like what I want from her.
Yeah, it's
End of the Earth.
It's a little bit of what
you want.
Yes, I think End of the Earth is like what I want more of, and
because it's so different for her, like.
What was it? Was more like that one artist. She dated Elon Musk.
Oh, Grimes.
Grimes, yeah, it's like more like a Grimesy vibe, I guess.
Yeah, well, like more not her most recent, prior to that, probably like Genesis, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was good. It was experimental, like the whole
I really like that.
and
The
like
end
going back
of
between
the end of the.
yeah,
That's so
like
cool.
that was good.
I just
That little drop.
You
at
had
the
4
end.
years, and it just seems it's like okay, it's not as bad, but like Kingdom Hearts did the whole wait 15
That
years.
sarcastic. Don't even compare Kingdom Hearts to Marina like that, bitch.
Man,
That was a 100% flop.
Yeah,
Still can't find that shit on off-road. Come on, bitch.
Kingdom Hearts isn't on off-road.
No, I'm saying like I can't find a buyer still. Nobody wants it.
Oh, no one wants it.
Because I went on it for $40 too. Like
I sold it for $40 too. Yeah, I actually sold it the next day. I listed it, which was cool, but it was from a friend, so I sold it. Yeah, I really didn't want to.
It's just so cheesy now. Like I don't even. That's a whole different topic.
It's a whole different topic. We probably shouldn't talk too much about it, but anyways, but
simplicity in music.
I would really prefer because I'm not like I understand music. I've been in a band I'm not in a band anymore, but I was in a band for like 8 years. I have been in the scene. Been playing guitar since like I was literally seen for a little while. Yeah. I had blue pants, a green shirt, red shoes, purple shoes. I
wanted to know that, Ronnie.
No, I was probably a dick back then. I probably had a big head, and I didn't like. Yeah, not that one. It was, I was definitely like I had a lot of ego back then, and I wasn't probably.
I'm in a band.
We were the biggest band in our high school, but it wasn't probably
the only band.
We had a lot of kids at our high school, and we had a lot of musicians. We had a lot of bands going on. We were just the only ones that were doing really anything. Mm-hmm. Played a lot of shows. There was another band that was getting big, but then they just stopped. I don't remember what happened. They stopped doing stuff. Actually, there's only one really successful band out of our high school, and that was Bloodline. And they're touring right now with Siler and a couple other bands. They're doing really well. And they sound fucking good, too. So, I get, like, this perception of, like, what is hard work. And when you have a lot of time, you start wondering why, like, you're not putting forth all this effort. Like, with Ali X, for instance, they're, like, a few years apart. But when she did Super Sunset, you're like, damn, that's a good album. Some of the songs are a little bland. She did Analog Super Sunset. And
changed it completely.
Totally changed it. It was 6 months later after Super Sunset, and it's awesome. Her voice is incredible in that album, and it makes you wonder, like, why didn't you do that on, like...
The get-go.
From the get-go. And back to Marina, you have 4 years to make an album, and
you're not even, like, putting an effort in your voice to, like...
It's a little disheartening.
Or, like, raise your pitch, or, like...
Yeah, it feels very, like, kind of boring and sad.
Super monotone.
Yeah, maybe
flat.
We've only heard half the album. Maybe there's something else coming, and we could do a talk about it later. But, I wonder what you do with your time. When we were in a band and we were like putting our music together, and we just kept expanding and like working our asses off on like several songs to make fucking awesome songs. When we were working in Fruity Loops and stuff, it was like there was a lot we had going for the time that we were giving ourselves. It's like, well, we want more time because we have like better ideas and we just like want to work it together. It didn't take us 4 years, It just seems odd, that it takes so long to put something out that doesn't have a lot kind of going for it. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see, we're patient too. I get that like, it's not all about us. It's definitely like, it's their music, sure. In the end, it's whatever you wanted to do with it. But it just seems odd that like you finished it and you were like really satisfied with what you did. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, if you do something like Ali, where you make a remix album, it's better. It's like, why didn't you do that? Like, why didn't you do it? When you know you could. I know Marina can. We've heard 3 albums and her voice is like insane on, especially like Fear and Loathing. Her voice is insane on that album.
Definitely my favorite song of hers.
Yeah,
just like her range on it, like going like raspy to like high pitched and like back down and up and down and up and down.
Yeah, and
like,
it's probably a lot of work to do something like that. But I'm not asking you to do every song like that. I'm asking you, was like, why not more? Why not like more effort? Why not more creative, sounds? Even if you're gonna sing kind of mellow, it's okay. But where's like the music?
Of it,
Yeah. Where's the music at? It's like when you see a friend like
it's just
half-ass their artwork or something, like I want to see a little more push, when you see when you know they can do better, like I think that's kind of what
like an ugly ass Alex, and I'm like, I know you can do better, bitch.
One of my paintings.
I'm saying like if you painted me something ugly, I'd be like, I know you can do better.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like our parents are like that on us, man. I think I sympathize with our parents when it comes down to something like that. Like our parents are like, they're hard on us, for a good reason, because they know that we can do better. I think for the most part, I don't think every parent has like a full idea about it, but I think sometimes they get a little aggressive or whatever. But I think, and our parents oftentimes don't know us very well, but they expect good. So like they know we can do better, and like they push us too. I think it's kind of the same thing.
Boys, what's going on in here?
Oh, I'm not jerking off, Dad. Get in here.
What did I tell you about jerking off?
Don't touch my penis, Daddy. Not again.
Dad's in here to jerk off with us now.
What?
You want to here?
What? You already have a mic for me?
Here you go.
What? Oh no, this is my microphone. Is it working? It's not even working, I bet.
Oh no, it's not.
Huh, told you.
You got me. Oh wait, there
it is. You're in.
What?
Yeah, boy.
Turn this thing off. I don't want to be on this podcast.
We were talking. We was so serious, like right before you walked in.
Yeah. I figured you would be.
We were talking about. So Luke is here now.
Am I?
Yeah. We were talking about. You see, like the vibe of the room with like the LEDs.
Yeah, I know. You're in a pitch black room with like rainbow chroma LED like lighting up everything.
Yeah, it's like the perfect setting.
Yeah,
that's why I love
it. It is kind of relaxing.
It's
actually.
super relaxing.
Yeah, thanks for killing the vibe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, people were probably sleeping to this, and you woke them up.
Right in the middle of an ASMR podcast.
Oh, is that why you guys were facing each other on the couch?
We weren't ASMR. We did start that way.
Hey guys, this is ASMR kissing. Two dudes kissing ASMR. I don't know. You're facing each other on the couch. I don't know what was going on in here.
We were talking about hoping for better with like artists when it comes to really anything like video games, music. And I was saying like our parents are kind of like that. It's like, well, the reason why we're kind of upset with like musicians when like you wait a really long time for an album and then like it drops and you're like,
because you want it to be good.
You want it to be good,
Yeah.
but then you hear it and you're like,
oh, just like Sky, that new song sucks ass.
That new song sucks, and it was like
that
3 years.
though.
I mean, that's my whole problem with like Anthem that just came out. It was like there's been 3-4 games that came before it with like very vocal complaints, and they ignore them. And the things that they did do right, they also ignore those.
What games? Like Destiny?
Destiny. People give Destiny so much shit, but it does a lot of things right. I mean...
Like the handling? Like the guns?
Yeah. That game, I stand by that as the best gunplay for consoles that I've ever played. Like
it plays well.
Like if there's an evolution to Halo gunplay, it's Destiny.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
It does.
And they didn't fuck that up. And to be fair, like Anthem's gameplay I've heard is good, but everything else is just like fucked. It's
really?
like I mean Destiny's crafting was already pretty bad. They made that worse. There's like load screens for everything. Destiny didn't really have that. Yeah. You have to go through 3 load screens to like look at your gear.
Because it's technically like a single player experience.
Yeah, they want to. Yeah, which is really dumb.
The game, you can play co-op. It's weird.
What? You have to beat the game to play co-op?
That's
What?
what I heard.
I didn't know that.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
It also like ignores Warframe. Warframe's a big deal. People really.
Warframe was really good.
Warframe is really grindy, and people still like get behind that because it does some things right. The gameplay's
cool.
Fun.
It's maybe a little too like alien looking for me, but
yeah. I bet you would like that game.
I tried it. I played it with a friend. I didn't really get it. Like I didn't get.
There's a lot to do now in it.
I think they've
had like open world sections and flying and
really, I like it. I had a friend who introduced me to it, but he was like so far ahead. He just like would walk me through anything.
Yes, I had a friend like that. The exact same situation.
I'm stuck in the first area for like ever.
I got to like level like 3 out of like 25, and I was like,
Yeah,
I think I
there's
get
so
it
much
by
to it.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Cool
good,
game,
but-
though.
I guess backtracking. Backtracking.
Just about like hopes, you know? Like
Yeah,
that's all we want.
Yeah, we wait a while, and I get that like a developer, whoever it is, music or video games or whatever, have their vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes I feel like they're pulling their punches. It's like, I know you could do better. I know you can do better.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of brought up Kingdom Hearts. We probably won't blow up on it because we don't want a channel to die too early. But
Yeah, don't let me go off on that.
I know.
I'm the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan in the room, and I will. Okay, next.
Yeah. So it's like, we had these high expectations for like Final Fantasy 15. It's just like waiting forever, and just to be like a.
They won't let that they will not let that ship sink.
No.
They're doing a crossover in 14, and they're still doing an episode Arden,
and sometimes
Granted,
it's
all
the
the DLC
games that have
cancel.
like no time at all. Cuphead was what, like 5 years in the making? Fucking awesome game.
Yeah.
Awesome. Super fun to look at.
Probably
Super fun to
because
play.
they had a test room with boxes, and it was just a box for the animation, and all you were doing is jumping around with the box and shooting, and all the bullets and enemies were boxes, and they tested the game before they went through all the trouble of making the animations.
Oh,
that's
that's
probably why it
super
turns
smart.
out
Yeah.
so good.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's hand drawn, so you know that there has to be so much love. Like
Yeah,
I'm like, I gotta work on this. I have to like every little detail.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bugs.
You can tell in that game they
It's
like
fun.
play tested it and like got the physics right. Probably either in tandem with all the art or before all the art.
Yeah.
Because you can't make that kind of a game with those kind of animations without doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's like
So, like, and in terms of, just to go back, like, expectations for albums, would you prefer that an artist released more, but at the potential of being less quality, just to try things, like being more experimental?
Charlie does that. I'm
Charlie
okay
does that
with
a lot,
that.
yeah.
I'm okay with that. I
Oh,
maybe
for sure,
like
for sure.
a third of what she puts out.
Sure.
But it's cool to see someone try.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I like Felt,
Yeah.
like a Japanese band, because it's like, they'll do 2 or 3 albums a year, sometimes 4. And it's like, if there's like one good song on there, it's like, heck yeah, awesome. Like, that's all I need.
It's cool that they're putting out a lot.
Yeah. They're just trying it. Now, to be fair, they're also like a Toho band, so they're like remixes. So they have like a
They're
musical.
also like 8-minute songs. Yeah.
Some of them are, yeah, to their credit,
Jeez.
but they have like a framework to work off of. Like they have a song from a game to like start as a bass, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to use this rhythm to make
That's so cool though. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
You know, I don't know. I think I've had less disappointment in music because I'm so deep in it. Like I can always find a value in it. Like
Yeah, it
there-
sucks, but they tried this.
yeah, it kind of sucks to see a band go from fucking awesome to like mediocre to like falling off the planet. But there are times like I showed y'all that Hard Feelings, that Bless the Fall album, and it's like, whoa, where the fuck were you for like 5 years and like maybe even close to like 10 years without a single good album, in my opinion, for 10 years, and out of nowhere you come back. Like that's awesome, but I find very little disappointment in music. Like Architects, I feel like every album's been fucking awesome. They're all individualized. They all do something great. There's a fucking banger on every album. And if I don't like, not that if I don't like, but I always end up liking all the songs. I end up liking every song on every one of their albums. I don't think any of them fall too far short. There's like only one song, and it's just because it's just not my type of song. Like there's one song where he's like, "The workers all march to the beat of the drum," like, and it's just like, it's just like kind of boring in the beginning, and it gets better later. And it's like that's the only song that I have like any mild beef with. Granted, probably a little bit of bias, my favorite band, but I find very little disappointment in music, and that's why we were kind of complaining about Marina, because it's like we've waited so long, and then it's like just kind of a mediocre.
Yeah, like the
album
more I
at
listen
moment.
to it, the more I like it. Still, I mean, I didn't like True to begin with, and now I'm like, pretty fucking good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's not one of those songs like when I first heard Doomsday by Architects, I was like, holy shit! And then they were like, here's a fucking music video. And that music video was like, fucking so good. It's like the best music video in my opinion.
One thing I try to do to like get away from like this musical disappointment is just I don't attach myself to very many bands. I don't get to.
Fuck, I can't help it.
Yeah.
I know. I don't get to attach. It's just like I take things on a song by song basis. It's just like I like these songs. Do they have more good songs? No. Okay, another artist. What else is a good
I
song?
can't do
It's so hard, dude.
It's
It's
weird.
that, I don't know if I can do that because like I might like one song, but I end up liking a bunch of songs by that person. Very,
Yeah, once you-
very rarely do I find one like a band like, ooh, what? There's a fucking band. Anyway, Behold Eternity, I think is what it is. Behold something. Behold Eternity, something like that. There's a band that I found on YouTube. It had one song that's like nuts. Like the breakdown is like the rhythms of the whole song, and it's like such a good breakdown. And they utilize it in different ways throughout the song. It's really. Is that what it's called? Yeah, probably Behold Eternity, and it's fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Every other song sucks. It's like, okay, that's one of those bands where I'm like, okay, one song, don't get attached to that band. If they come out with something else, maybe I'll like it. There's a few bands like that.
That one with like that teddy bear on it that you showed me that one day. Where we were recording.
Buried Alive. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a one and done. Everything else was terrible.
Yeah, they have some really cool. He does some cool shit, but the songs are very inconsistent. It's like there's like one fucking beastly ass part for one part of the song, and then it just kind of like goes down.
Yeah, maybe like me picking like songs individually like is why I like latched on to Japanese music because it's harder to get over here. So sometimes you only get like the best song, and sometimes that's all you get to hear. So it's like, okay, I'll take that, and then I'll search down and look for albums, and I'll listen to whole albums, and sometimes there's like one other hidden gem in there, but sometimes it's like, I mean, I like all this, but I just want to listen to that one song.
I can see why
that
I
was
only
good.
live here.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm sure it's like that with that local Connect band I like, where it was like I only know like 5 songs by that band. I'm sure they have a bunch more, but they didn't really make it here, and they're probably not because they might be mediocre. Who knows?
Sometimes I hope that like they aren't like releasing them on YouTube because they're holding out. You know, they got some of the good ones on that album. But a lot of the time I'll just go and listen to the album, and it's like, no, they already previewed the good one. Like that's the kicker.
It kind of makes me nervous. It makes me really nervous when, for instance, like Marina released Handmade Heaven.
If she would have came back with
was
End
like,
of the Earth, I would have been like,
oh
fuck.
yeah, I would have pre-ordered the album, and I did, and I had the vinyl,
Yeah.
you know, and I bought tickets for the for the.
Yeah, I bought the vinyl and tickets.
You got the vinyl too.
Yeah.
Okay.
R.I.P.
And oh yeah, you got VIP tickets. You said R.I.P. I was like, damn. You know, it makes me super nervous when an artist releases like the single, and it's not like that great.
Sky Ferreira.
I've seen that a bunch, dude. Sky did that. Bring Me the Horizon did Mantra, and that was a fucking killer. And then they released some other. Like,
it was like Medicine, I think. Was one that they released.
It was like a week or two before the album came out, and they released Medicine, and that was good. But there was another song, I forget what it's called.
Oh, it's got that one with Danny in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forget what song that is. It has Danny.
Danny DeVito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! I dropped my monster condom.
Like, but this song was very, like, he talks at the beginning. It's super boring, and like the song has like really no resolve for me, and it's just I skip it every time on the album. And it was a second release song, and I was super nervous for the album. And then like 2 days before the album dropped, I listened to every song on it, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's a good album!"
Grimes.
Yeah, and then with Grimes, yeah,
that should have been like lead too.
It was really good. It makes me very, very nervous for bands, video games, movies to release what little you're going to show us, and it just ends up not being like that fantastic.
I can't trust games anymore. I don't want to buy AAA games anymore.
No, I get really scared. Sekiro, I traded a bunch of stuff to buy it, and it's a fucking awesome game, but it's super hard, so it makes me frustrated.
I mean, yeah, From Software is the only
it's a
like
guaranteed
notable name that I can trust right now.
Yes, From has always pulled through. Even Dark Souls 2 was awesome for the time.
Yes.
You show us Dark Souls 3 and you're like, oh, 2 is trash.
But I mean, I guess they're not AAA, you know?
They're not, but it's a company
It's
that
a
I can
big
trust.
company
I
now.
can like blindly put my money into.
Yeah.
Because you know it's gonna be.
I thought Devil May Cry was going to be bad.
And it turned out really well.
But it seems like people like it, but I wonder if that's only because it's like 15 hours, though. But maybe they know
maybe
that
if
kind of a
gave this-
game can't be that long.
If you doubled the time, would it be as fun? I don't know.
DMC
Probably
2?
not.
They've all been short though.
They are, but it's
Nothing over
so
12
is it
hours.
worth $60 if it's only 15 hours? Maybe it has replayability. I'm sure.
I think, yeah, people always bring up the $60 thing. Maybe games just need to be more. Maybe that'll incentivize people to actually, like, make a better product? I don't know.
Dude,
games
yeah,
are really
dude,
like
they
$90
give you
now.
so many fucking DLCs, $20 a piece.
Yeah.
Dude, I spent $80 on Spider-Man for the PS4, and I don't have the collector's edition. I had to get the DLC because I really liked that game. I wanted to play more of it. I threw down another $25 on that game. Fucking good. The DLC is super frustrating, but we invest into something we know we're gonna like.
Sure.
Which is part of DLC.
I mean, how long have games been $60? It just
Probably a while.
like with bad games
15
lately,
years.
like Kingdom Hearts and Anthem. People are like, "I paid $60 for this. Like, that's a lot of money to put down on a game." It's like, is it
for all the time they put into it? Maybe not.
I mean,
I'm talking about
people
like a
were
15-hour
paying
game.
people were paying $60 for Sonic 06 when it came out, and some people like that game.
No, that's probably true. Actually, yeah.
So
that was $60 probably.
Yeah, they
So
were back.
why-
They were 60 on the
I don't understand why we've stuck to $60.
You think it
Is
should
there
be
some
more?
market metric to it? If that incentivizes people to make better
I bet
products,
that's just.
I don't
that's
mind paying
probably
$100 for a
the
game.
most. That's probably the most market. There's probably some market tactic in it where it's probably like $60 is like
it's probably like sell a
This is-
million copies and you make this much money or something
that,
like that.
or it's like the consumer won't spend more than that. You're already paying 64.
Maybe.
You're paying
64
60 but
with
then
tax.
You'll pay
Yeah.
like a gold edition for $100,
Oh,
$90.
Yeah, because that's more
$30
reasonable.
season pass.
You give me Resident Evil Collector's Edition with Leon in it. I want that because it has Leon in it. It's It was like $120. That's reasonable because the statue itself should be $60. Then the video game is $60. That's a reasonable combo.
Mhm.
You give me a fucking $100 Collector's Edition, and all you have is a bracelet, a whistle, and a butt plug. I don't want it.
That's like Sekiro. That was only $80.
It was $80, and
What'd
it
it
came
come
with a letter opener.
No,
I'm
it
just gonna
came
throw
with
the
like
letter
a
opener away.
statue of him. It came with a bunch of shit.
Oh, did it?
$80.
Oh, cool.
I thought the $80 one was the.
No, it
Or was that just pre-ordering the regular edition? You got to.
pre-order. Yeah, that was the letter opener.
I just,
They
I,
came
would,
with like
that's
an
kinda
art
cool.
book, like
I didn't know
a
it came with a
statue of
dude.
him.
That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I fucking blew like 180 on Dark Souls 3's Collector's Edition. Huge Soul Cinder statue, and I have it like right there.
I
It's
paid
awesome.
$150 for my Rise of the Tomb Raider one.
It looks really cool.
Didn't pay for Shadow.
I've been liking like indie game releases lately. Like Shantae, I think it was like $30-$40 when it released on Steam for the first time. But what a lot of indie devs are doing is they're porting stuff to Switch because that's where the money's at. So when they ported it to Switch, it stayed $40, but they made it a collector's edition. So it came with like an art book and all the DLC.
Yeah, that's fair. They did that with Resident
So-
Evil. With didn't they with 5? Like 5 was re-released on the PS4. It was like $20, but it came with all the DLC.
Yeah.
Should. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
DLC's free. Digital content's free. It should be.
Mhm.
It should be included. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a big fan of like pre-order to get a gun. Seems kind of like
Yeah, you get a
wasty. You're gonna throw the
color
gun away in a
outfit,
week.
yeah.
Well,
And most of the
less
time,
than
it's
that,
like a skin, or it's like a level 1 gun that you can't use.
Yeah, exactly.
The like in Borderlands 2.
And even Borderlands 3, you get a fucking gold skin pack now.
See, I'm wondering because you get like a platinum loot box or something. I think before they've been okay, but in 2 you got like a set of golden guns that were only level 1. Okay,
Yeah.
trash in like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, you
You
might pick
did
up another
though.
gun
You
real
did
quick.
get a grenade that scaled with your level. That was cool.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was
Why
like a
didn't they- Why
firework.
didn't they have more of that?
Exactly. If it's a cool gun with the unique parts and a unique skin on it, why can't I use it more?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to level 2 and it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I think one of the only games that really like pulls through on that might be MMOs. Like Final Fantasy XIV, the pre-order bonuses you could utilize over and over because they have skins, and you can do like the whole glamour thing.
I mean, that's why every single game should have a glamour option if there's any sort of visual change. If you
Yeah.
change your armor, if you change your gun, there should be a glamour or a transmog
skin,
option.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like Destiny seemed like that should have been the thing. In Destiny, that they give you a lot of different looks, and if you put that on a gun, you fuck somebody, you confuse the shit out of somebody. If you were like, what the? He's
Maybe.
using some ice thing.
I
and he
think
has, like, a
Destiny
fire.
tries to be more competitive. I think Destiny's okay because they do a good job at making a lot of unique guns. Like all the exotic weapons are unique, look unique, feel unique.
Yeah.
And then all the armor, maybe there's not a crazy amount of it, but there's a decent amount, and there's hundreds of shaders, and you can shade every item.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
The customization to Destiny 2 is, I like
They
it a
definitely
lot.
stepped it up. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think Warframe is probably like, might be where it's like too much.
Yeah,
There's
because
a
it's
lot
like
of
you can do all
variables.
kinds of
Yeah,
cool-
because
There's,
it's like they sell you the palette, and so your Warframe will have like 6 or 7 colors that you can customize, like primary 1, primary 2, the stripe here, and
Oh,
the
And it's
belt
like
is a different
fucking
color.
Color wheel.
Right, yeah.
yeah, and you end up just looking like a
And then the
running
gun
around
has
with a
like, 3 different metal parts.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
color this and this and this, and it's like, okay, I just want a blue gun.
And now you can like even colored like the main hub that you're in now. Like, change
Oh,
the lights
really?
and
I know you could change
do
like
so much
your
shit.
effects,
That's
like
kinda- it's
your
cool,
the
but I
streaks
get you.
behind you, and
Yeah.
like some of the bullet colors you can change. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your main little ship hub. You can
That
change.
becomes,
That's cool.
I think people start complaining when there's too much variable. There's too much free will. People start freaking the fuck out. When you go down like a chips aisle, say you've never had chips before.
You go to
the
the chips.
aisle and you're like, oh.
The chips aisle is overwhelming.
It's
In
overwhelming. There's
fairness,
a lot of chips. And to be fair,
Mini
there's a
tortilla
lot.
chips.
There's a lot of chips I have not
Yeah.
tried. You know why?
There's a lot of
I'm just
chips.
gonna go with Sun Chips and Baked Lays.
Oh my god.
Both basic chips, but I know I like them. It's like
Basic chips or a basic bitch?
Yeah. It's cool that they're going for the look of like as many variables.
I
as
do
much
like that,
customizable
yeah.
as possible.
But seeing that game and it's free,
yes,
And,
then
yeah.
okay, then go to Overwatch, right? Overwatch. I paid $60 for it. I go in, all the cosmetics I have to unlock through loot boxes, and
who'd you pay for?
there's 5 of the same skin that look like the default skin you have, but they're just different colors. So
Yeah.
why can I only pick those 5 colors? I'll pay you $5. Just give me an RGB color slider.
Oh, that would be sweet.
It's in Photoshop. Just put it in that game.
Yeah.
it's in Paint. It's in Microsoft Paint. Just put it in that game. It's not
Yeah.
hard. It's not hard to put in
Yeah, just give me
a color
few at
wheel.
least. Yeah, give me like the basic rainbow. I'll be alright.
If it's just gonna be a default skin and like you're not gonna do anything to the model, why not let me texture it? Why do I have to? Why do I? If I want all the skins, why do I have to buy the orange one, the purple one, and the blue one?
I think that comes back down to that whole $60 thing we're talking about.
Microtransactions.
Your
They want more money.
microtransactions, you want like
It's-
you're willing to pay more.
Yes,
And, you don't really
and that
realize
is
that
that
you already
does
spent $60.
yeah, and it does feed into the loot boxes because I mean there was a world without money, they'd just be like every game would have an RGB slider. Like,
That'd be
why
fun.
not?
Yeah, that'd be super sick.
Yeah.
I would love that. Like most video games.
Mhm.
I don't know. Depends on like how much the integrity of the main character has been changed. Now that you made his hair like light blue and his skin is like orange.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that in Dark Souls, but
yeah.
it only takes away a little when you're watching a cutscene. and
But
your
why
character's
should
in the
you?
back.
Why should you take away someone's fun from the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
Dark Souls doesn't, because you can do anything you want and look any way you want. You can look like
Yep.
Gruntilda, the witch, and be a fat,
Dude, yeah, we had Drew.
Green.
Yeah.
fat green woman with a big nose, but she's also hairy and has a beard. And you could only beat the game with a shield, 2 shields.
I don't know if you can beat the game with 2 shields.
Yes,
Can you
you
beat the
can.
entire game with just a shield?
Yeah, it does damage.
Oh yeah, because you can.
In 2, you probably couldn't because the durability would break. I tried doing the broken hilt sword all of 2. 'Cause I'm really good at 2, but you can't because the sword breaks. I tried it. Like,
The broken sword breaks.
yeah.
Of course.
You like it. I tried beating
I do hate durability.
Dragon Rider.
Yeah.
The Dragon
Worst
Rider
feature.
boss right in the beginning, and I fucking.
I think the only place I've seen durability work is Fire Emblem, where it's about resource management and like managing your army. It's like that's the point is the
Yeah,
durability
stuff
is supposed
like
to
that,
be great.
but-
And then they have cool weapons where it's like there's a glass sword and it does the most damage in the
But it
game.
breaks in 1 hit.
Yeah, but you have 3 hits with it and
Is
it's
it 3?
done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
that's a
super
good
cool.
idea. I think that's a
Yeah.
cool idea. I've seen that a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the worst things I've seen was like in RuneScape. It's a bad example, but in RuneScape there was an option where you could have this like super sick looking armor. It was like gothic looking. It was like red and black. Gothic because it was like sharp and stuff, and it had like these,
Daedric armor.
it kind of looked like
kinda,
Daedric armor. Yeah. And what was cool was that it had an effect. There were certain ones you can get, and they were available for certain classes, which was cool. And some would be like you get you combine it. If you had all the pieces of the armor, it worked together. If you had the weapon that went with the armor, it also worked together. So the effect would stack.
Buffs, yeah.
And it would add buffs. So there was one, I had like a spear combined with this armor, and what it did was every time I hit, it would regen a little. And so like, and if I critted, it would heal a lot.
Yeah.
So I would fight these lesser demons to farm for like these big lesser bones, and I would sell them and I would flip them and make money. And so I was doing that, and it would like regen and stuff. That fucking thing had durability on it. And so after, I think it was after like 100 uses, like say you did like 100, like less
100
than
attacks or something.
it was not very much, and like the shit would break.
Yeah.
And to repair it was like $1 million gold per like piece.
Yeah, super cheap.
And it's like, come on. So I'm like basically just refunding myself. Like,
I don't
want
even.
this armor.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about Final Fantasy 14 online is the durability. I don't get it. Like, why is it there? It only costs like 4 gold out of the hundreds of thousands that you get to repair all your gears.
Exactly.
It's like, why is it there?
I use it. You're just. It's just like a thing to spend your money on.
Speaking of Final Fantasy 14, all MMOs suck because they refuse to change and refuse to evolve. But Final Fantasy 14 is very good.
It's so good.
It is. If we had to stay with this current MMO formula forever, right?
Okay.
Because no one wants to evolve and no one wants to change, and this is how it's been since WoW came out. If we had to stay with this formula, Final Fantasy 14 is the best choice.
Yes.
It is the best of this formula.
There are so many people I've talked to, like Matt at work. He has said like the same thing. Like, 14 is perfect. 14 is so good. It's a fantastic.
They even fucked it up the first time and made it part of the story. How cool is that?
Yeah,
they just nuked the world and they're like, oh, remember the nuke?
Yes.
And if you had gear before, like, you could go to a vendor and, like, exchange it for the new gear. It's so cool. It's
they
so
don't
cool.
punish you for, like, that kind of shit. Like, if there's certain currencies in the game, and there were certain currencies, they knew that these tickets weren't working. So they had a series of tickets that you could use from certain dungeons and things. And what they did was they allocated it to be one type of ticket. But if you had those tickets, you didn't just lose out. You can go to this one guy and he gives you all your tickets back. He converts them. Like, pound for pound, I think. It's like if you had 100, here's 100.
Yeah.
It's like it was converted to the currency. It was like if one was worth 5 in the first place, then you get like, do the math. And there were things like glamour prisms. If you had old types of glamour prisms, you can, which is like a thing to change your outfit. You could exchange those for the current setting of the glamour prisms. And fix that thing. You weren't just ousted out of whatever you had.
No, they've been very good about that.
They are very good.
I've played so many MMOs.
The only problem I think anyone has with Final Fantasy 14 is that their customer service is it's like super strict. Like if you fuck up on your password too many times,
it's because that stuff can get flooded very quickly. So they want you to like, hey, remember this, do this, use the authenticator. It's like in fairness,
Yeah.
But I've played WildStar, I've played Terra.
I played Terra too.
I think I've played.
It looks pretty. All the people look good, but the game is shit.
Yes.
It's like you can go. I played Terra. I walked around the entire open world, and as I'm walking through this world, it's loading in poorly with really low res, and not a single enemy for like 15 minutes. I was like, what's the point?
There's some big areas
Why
with nothing
give
in
me
them.
that?
Yeah.
It's not Drakengard, and I'm on a dragon, and I'm flying around this big open world, and there's picks of armies, and I can shoot them with a dragon.
Sure.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I'm on foot, walking around. I want to farm, and I
big
can't
world
find a
isn't
fucking
necessarily
enemy.
good.
What the hell?
Yeah.
You go into Final Fantasy 14, any town in the entire game, leave the town. Right there. They're fucking right there.
Yeah.
And they're low level. You want to fight higher end dudes? Go further out.
Yeah.
Like, or teleport to the areas in which you unlocked with a teleporter, which we gave you. It's like, they give you fast travel right off the bat. It's not Dogma where you get to the end of Dragon's Dogma and they give you like
one fucking fairy stone to travel.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've played a lot. I've played WildStar, I've played that, and I've played Knights of the Old Republic. I've played some weird ones like Aeon and C9.
Right? Star Wars was okay.
Apparently, it was okay.
I want to try Black Desert. That looks
I've played Black Desert. They all play the same. Black Desert's a little more action focused, so it's okay. But
I want to try it. Looks good.
I haven't seen it.
The customization looks really good.
yeah, if you want to play as like a hot anime chick, that's the place that you want to play that game.
Okay, what's it called? I need to get a pen real quick.
Black Desert.
Black Desert. Black Dick.
BD.
But-
yeah.
What?
Black Dessert.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but my point is, they all play the same. And I hate that everyone's been sticking to the same formula since WoW. And I hate that there hasn't been anyone innovating. I'm ready for like Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, Final Fantasy 14 to all come together, figure out how to make the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like the Elder Scrolls Online. It looks very plain. It's very boring.
It's definitely changed a lot.
Why do I still go back to Skyrim? Why is it still fun?
I know, I was playing
I don't
Skyrim the
know,
other day
man.
when I was on the phone with him.
Yeah,
For
there's-
fucking no
I feel like
reason.
everyone I've talked to that's played it has been like, I don't like it, or yeah, I have like 800 hours.
I think everyone has like 800 hours in
It's
Skyrim.
how the game is shitty.
It is
But
now.
it's all games.
It was
It's
the
like,
best.
It's still
fuck off.
fun.
Dude, in 2011, I did not go to bed till 4 a.m. most nights because of Skyrim.
I've pulled all-nighters because of it.
I'm sure I have too. I got too old for it.
It's so
Too
bad,
quickly,
but
Even
so
playing
good.
it on console before I found mods and that like
yeah,
redid everything for
Yes.
me, like it was still fun.
yeah.
How? Like
because they did a good job.
I don't
It was made with love.
I mean, not
Sure.
really.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
they haven't
not
done
really.
that
It's pretty
since.
shitty.
They haven't
it's
done that
fun.
since. Well, they do like copy pasting, but to be fair, in some of those copy pasted things, there's usually like a unique item. I still go back every time. I find one unique item every time I play.
Yeah, there's.
I go back and play every year.
Every time that I have played, I discover something new.
Yeah, like when I was on the phone with you, I was in a completely different fucking side quest area that I've never even seen before. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
I fucking
Sometimes it just takes
like
looking
skating
around,
around.
walking around. They'll do a good job with the next one, I'm sure.
You
There's a lot
think?
of I think so. There's a lot of practice. There's a lot of practice with the MMO.
But
As
like,
long
oh,
as-
practice fucking hard.
Fallout 76 is the
Fallout
best.
4, Fallout 76,
I like
Elder
4
Scrolls
though.
Online. Where's
ESO is
Blades?
definitely
Wasn't
cool.
Blades supposed to come out?
Yeah, so
It's out
was-
right now. It's in early access.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good for
What?
them.
But you can't get out of like the starting. Pretty much like
What
the
is it?
story.
The starting town.
Blades.
Sick.
Elder Scrolls Blades.
It's like a,
It's their all platform, like PC, mobile, console, like all platform, like Elder Scrolls game.
Oh,
It
that's neat.
has the same armor sets and weapons as Skyrim and the same enemies, and you're fighting them in the same locations.
yeah.
They keep copy pasting.
Yeah.
Bethesda. That's what they do.
That's funny, but it's still fun. I don't know
Yeah,
why
I
it's
mean-
still fun, but it is.
Yeah.
I still have it on my PS4, and I had it on the Xbox 360 again. Had it on the PS3.
I know. I probably bought it on every console you can buy it on.
I had it on PC. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And then now they have it VR. It's crazy they could just keep putting it back out. People keep
And people
buying it.
still fucking
Grand Theft
swore
Auto
to
is
that
like
shit.
that too.
Yeah, just because it's good doesn't mean you want to buy it again. It's
But it's
just
same
like,
price.
Yeah, same.
There's a bunch of games for the Switch that are like that, where it's like, oh, here's this game again.
Like Hello Neighbor is like $40 or $50 on the
There was a
Switch.
game I saw.
really?
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh yeah,
They remastered
They
it.
remastered it. It's the same price again.
And they
Yeah,
took the old one
$60.
off Steam. I heard.
Son of a
But
bitch.
they put Liberations on it, guys. Come on.
No,
What the, is
so
it the
worth
DLC
it.
or whatever?
No, it's
It's
the
a
Vita
PSP
game.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's Aveline, and it's probably the worst Assassin's Creed in the whole series.
Cool.
But they had to take it on. So
You know-
of course it's worth 60
You know what I want to see another of? The Assassin's Creed side scroller games.
I think I played that. It was on the PSP
No, there was like ones on PS3.
or
Really?
yeah,
On
the same thing.
PS3? Wow.
That's how they like everybody wanted to go to Egypt because they came.
Oh, I
They
remember
did like
that.
Egypt, and like 3 other ones. from, like,
Was that they're
other
just
people.
their like
It was
platform
Assassin's Creed
mess
Chronicles.
around? Oh, that's what
Chronicles.
Chronicles.
That was
yeah.
it. Yeah.
It was like 3 of them from like Egypt and.
Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
chromosomes.
What did I say? Potassium chloride.
Oh yeah. You have a reading problem.
You have a ring.
Your dog is outside the door.
Fucking vintage instead of vestige.
Hey,
She's got the vintage leggings. Oh, it says vestige.
like, does it? Well, it's a fucking good podcast. Well, Luke, where can we find you?
Find me in the grid. Boom 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 boom. You're gonna cut it off. I can't keep doing this song.
Just cut it out from there. Bye.